everyone, I'm teacher Nilsson. Welcome to Practical Research 2. Our topic today, kinds of quantitative research. By the end of this video lesson, you are expected to describe the kinds of quantitative research. We will talk about the first design, which is descriptive design. What is it? It is used to describe a particular phenomenon by observing it as it occurs in nature. Just what it sounds like, it describes the attitudes and behaviors observed during the investigation. There is no experimental manipulation, and the researcher does not start with a hypothesis. What do you mean by hypothesis? Let's have an example. Research problem. What is the effect of video lessons on the attitude of students towards practical research to subject? The research hypothesis of that problem is students' attitude towards practical research to subject will improve as a result of watching video lessons. The null hypothesis, there is no significant difference in students' attitude towards practical research to subject before and after watching video lessons. The goal of descriptive research is only to describe the person or object of the study. Hawkins, Pepler, and Craig 2001 studied bullying among first through sixth grade students. To do this, they observed elementary school children involved in playground activities. They collected measures such as frequency of bullying, the amount of time bullying was done alone versus in the presence of peers, and the types of interventions peers used to stop bullying. Such study allows authentic understanding of bullying in a particular and real-life context or situation. In this study of school bullies, the researchers did not create or monitor any independent variables. They simply noted the behavior of the children on the playground and constructed measures related to bullying and subsequent intervention. Example number 2, determining the different kinds of physical activities and how often high school students do it during the quarantine period. Next is correlational design. Correlational design involves identifying relationships between two variables. Furthermore, the data in correlational design is collected by observation since it does not consider the cause and effect. For example, the relationship between the amount of physical activity done and academic achievement of TVL students. With respect to direction, a correlation can either be positive or negative. A positive correlation exists when, as one variable increases or decreases, the other variable also increases or decreases. For example, if the amount of physical activity done increased, well, the academic achievement of TVL student will also increase. Also, if the amount of physical activity done decreases, then academic achievement of TVL student also decreases. That is a positive correlation. On the other hand, we have a negative correlation. It is the opposite of a negative correlation. Two variables are negatively correlated. When as the value of one variable increases, the value of the other variable decreases and vice versa. For example, in this given situation, the relationship between the amount of physical activity done and academic achievement of TVL student. If the amount of physical activity done increases, the academic achievement of TVL students decreases. If the amount of physical activity done decreases, the academic achievement of TVL students increases. So that's a negative correlation. Moving on to ex post facto design. It is used to investigate a possible relationship between previous events and present condition. Also, it looks at the possible causes of an already occurring phenomenon. Just like the previous designs, ex post facto design has no experimental design manipulation. Let's take this example. Example number one, the high school teacher's investigation of his students' educational history and current academic achievement. The previous event in this situation is the student's educational history, while the present event, the current academic achievement. You will notice that the high school teacher here, the experimenter, or the researcher will just investigate the educational history of the student and he or she will compare it to the current academic achievement. So there is no experimental manipulation. The fourth one is the quasi-experimental design. It is used to establish the cause and effect relationship of variables, although it resembles or it looks like the experimental design. The quasi-experimental has lesser validity due to the absence of random selection and assignment of subjects. In here, the independent variables are identified, or the independent variable is identified but not manipulated. The researcher does not modify or change pre-existing groups of subject. The group exposed to treatment is called experimental. It is then compared to the group unexposed to treatment called as control group. Here's an example. Video-based teaching on students' academic performance in practical research 2. Treatment, video-based teaching. That is the one that we are going to give to the students. Experimental, we have here the class A is exposed to video-based teaching, while the control group, class B, is not exposed to video-based teaching. That is an example of a quasi-experimental type of research. The fifth design is the experimental design. Like quasi-experimental, it is used to establish the cause and effect relationship of two or more variables, meaning it deals with what can, may be the effects. In here, the researcher manipulates one or more independent variables and observes variations or differences in the dependent variables as it is influenced by the manipulation of independent variables. This design provides a more conclusive result because it uses random assignment of subjects and experimental manipulation. Example, a comparison of the effects of various blended learning to the reading comprehension of senior high school students.